Present.
Ms. Gage,
Here.
Mr. Rivera,
Present.
Mr. Hurst,
Here.
Ms. Lucero, and Mr. Daniel.
Here.
All right, please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. See, I told you I would need reminding. All right, item 4, staff reports. You ready?
Hey, after our last budget meeting, I did send out an email to all the council members asking if you had any questions on the budget or, to please send them to us so we could discuss them. So Amy sent me several questions. I thought we'd go ahead and go over them so everybody will have, same information. And I'm going to ask Amber to help me out a little bit here too. So first question is general fund revenue sanitation. Please explain the high variance and what was budgeted for 2025, which is 23,000 versus projection 50,000, and provide supporting documents. Amber, you want to touch on that?
So the past couple of years, this account has shown a surplus, and in previous years, the revenues weren't recognized until after the audit was done. But now that we can see a recognizable trend, this will now be budgeted for in full.
Okay. And then the next question, administrative expense under education, says please provide supporting documents, receipts, certifications, received, etc., for all funds spent in 2025, which is $24,420.53, and a breakdown of what was included for the 26-27 projections. And for any of y'all, I have all this information. I'd be more than happy to get you a copy of it. But included in this packet here is a detailed report of all the money that was spent on education.
And this is just for the admin folks, right? Calvin, is that
Yes.
right?
That's
It's
right.
just the admin.
Yes,
So
for
are we
admin.
talking like 3 employees plus any city council members?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is that 3 admin employees plus any city council members that would be included in this education fund?
Well, actually, under administrative expenses, you're looking at all the council as well.
Right, so 3 employees plus anyone on the council who incurred education expenses.
I think there's, yeah, that would be correct, yes, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And so, you want me to go over the list right here with everybody?
I think that would be wise.
Okay. So on October the 8th through the 11th, we had mileage to the TML conference for Lori Kazmarek in the amount of $251.52. We had mileage to TML conference for Anisi Payne, $251.52. We had mileage for Jonathan Oliveira for $251.52. We had mileage for Dave Dickinson for $280. We had Mills TML conference for Anise Payne and $280. We had Mills for the TML conference, Jonathan Oliveira, $280. Mills for David Dickinson, TML conference, $280. And then we had the credit card charges. Let's see here.
That would have been for the hotel.
Ma'am?
That would have been for the hotels.
Right, for the hotels and registration and everything. And so that come to $900. Then we had an election law seminar for Larry Kazmarek, Texas Municipal Clerks Association, $365. And then we had November 13th through 15th. We had meals for TML Economic Development, Jonathan Alvera, $170.05. We had mileage TML Economic Development, Lori Kazmarek, $170.05. We had Mills TML Economic Development, Lori Kazmarek, 170. Let's see, Mills TML Economic Development, Calvin Hoddy, 170. And then TML Economic Development Conference, Jonathan O'Vera, 170. And then we had the credit card charges, and that is, there again, is the registration and hotels and everything. And that was $4,882.20. And then in December 4 through 5, we had meals for public funds investment for Calvin Hoddy, $185. And for the mileage for public funds investment, Anisi Payne, $271.62. Mileage, public funds investment, Chuck Wilson, $271.62. We had mileage, public funds investment, Lori Kazmarek, $271.62. Mills Public Funds Investment, Chuck Wilson, $185. Mills Public Funds Investment, Lori Kazmarek, $185. Mills Public Funds Investment, Anisi Payne, $185. And then we had the credit card charges for the hotels and registration for the public funds investment, and that was $1,032.63, $1,601.98, and $1,321.44. And then in January 22 through 24, we had mileage for election law seminar, Larry Kazmarek, $131.74. We had Mills election law seminar, Laurie Kazmarek, $170, and then charges for that. Registration and all was $1,235.70. And
Hey.
then we had,
Calvin, I don't mean to interrupt, but if we're gonna do it line by line and we're going up to $24,420, we're
Yeah.
probably gonna be here for a minute. And
Okay.
I don't know what the
I just
council.
want to make sure we get everybody's,
We want the answers to be as granular as the questions.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I would have been glad with just saying we spent this much on a TML conference or this much on, just breaking it down, grouping it. But if we need to go through it line by line, we can.
okay? And then, Lori, what is TMCCP? Texas Municipal Court Clerks? Yep. And for that seminar, it was, that registration was $350. Charges on that one was $100. Mileage to that particular one was $259.70. Meals for Lori Kazmarek, $170. And then we had a safety training class, which was confined space training, okay? And that was for all of our public works guys, and that was $2,700. And then we had, let's see here, in April, right now, in like August, we had the Texas Municipal Court Clerks Legislative Update, and that was for Lori Kazmarek, $112. Mills for that conference was $170, and then registration $1433.50. So it looks like, I think that was all on that particular question, Amy. Let's see, on the police, you had police expense. Please provide supporting documentation from the Waco Animal Shelter for 2024, 2025, invoicing and itemized breakdown, including city office records of animals or citations issued, okay? And the animal shelters or fees are calculated by the city of Waco, taking the total operating expenses for the shelter into consideration, and then they divide it by the number of animals taken per city, okay? So the 26 projections were made using the bill amounts from the city of Waco, and a detailed report is here.
And just for everyone here to understand kind of why I was questioning that, it's because of large variance on that expense. I think it jumped from around $12,000 to $60,000, or over 60,000.
Mhm.
So I was just trying to see what makes that up?
Right. I think it was,
Calvin, all this is public record, right?
yes, sir.
Okay, so it's all in the budgets for every month that we have a meeting?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, all of
So
our
people-
check
so
register,
people-
everything's in there.
So people that want to do some research can do their own research?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Guys, we'll stay here all night if you want to.
No, I don't. I mean, I think these are questions that we should all be asking, right? I mean, is anyone else not curious as to why we would go from $12,000 on animal control to $69,000 on animal control, and want to
No,
see what that makes up of?
It actually
we went over.
decreased, it didn't increase.
Yeah.
And
The
we actually asked those
information's
questions.
online for anybody that wants to see it.
So if we're gonna get written questions and be accused of a lack of transparency, we're gonna stay here all night, and we're gonna let everybody see everything. We'll be as granular as y'all wanna be.
Well, I wasn't trying to
Okay.
be accusatory about anything. I was trying to do this as I would a business. If I ran a department and I was looking at a budget, these are questions that I would ask, and they're documents that I would want to see.
I think, but the point that the others have made is that it's available, and it doesn't require a lot of work for the city staff, a couple hours for
Okay,
the city staff
okay,
to.
that's fine. So go
And
through
so I thought if it
the
was
monthly
important
budgets.
enough to have these kinds of questions and that kind of granularity, I think it's important that we'll do it. So when we have written questions come to the council like this, we'll go through it line by line, so that no one can say that we're trying to hide anything.
Okay, well, just
Or
to be,
we can call the city and check the online stuff. It's just however y'all wanna do it, we'll play it that way.
just to be clear, I wasn't accusing anybody of anything. I was just
So
trying to get
We've been
information.
accused of a lot, so we're being overly cautious.
Well,
Okay.
I was just
Overly
asking
cautious.
questions about the budget, which is what I feel like is my responsibility.
Let's see, it's still on staff reports. And I'm gonna get Jim to hit on something real quick. Jim, would you tell us a little bit about the city crew, street improvements?
The what?
The city, working on the streets?
Oh, yeah. so
City
over on
crews?
Barber, we over on Barber, we have been, zipping that street, and we have ran into several issues, hitting manholes that are not up to grade. They're covered up by, existing asphalt. And we have hit several of them, and we hit another one this week. So we have once again been, our zipper machine has been put down for the time being, and we are ordering parts for it to get it fixed. Because as we're zipping along, the teeth that grind up the asphalt ends up hitting that metal lid, and it tears all the teeth off of them.
Yep.
And then we have to end up ordering the teeth and weld plates on there for the teeth to slide onto the plates. So,
Is there a locator or anything that we could use to?
Jim, you wanna, talk about that?
yeah, yesterday we went and purchased, for lack of better words, a much better, metal detector than what we currently have. And today we actually had them over on Barber trying to find some manholes that are buried. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to ask the crew if they found any that were currently buried. But we are in the process right now trying to find anything as far as manhole lids, to the manholes, valve lids to the valve stacks that come up off the water main, to try to locate everything that is buried that is not on our current maps as we're going along Barber. Barber Street is just really, there's been a lot of surprises as we've gone along. And unfortunately, it has slowed us down tremendously.
City streets are like, I'm sure the city streets are like an old house, finding wiring and plumbing and stuff
Yes.
like that. You just don't ever know where it's at, because it's
Never
different
know
than what
where it's at.
today is, yeah.
You know, one good thing about it, we're updating our maps.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and Calvin, I had asked about that, and thank you, Jim, for the update. And just to give some kind of clarification for Lacy Lakeview residents, because there's two different things going on with our streets, right? There's this $9.5 million bond that was passed,
Correct.
that we're looking at, and there's this project tied to that that includes Virginia, Donald, and
North Walnut.
Walnut, right? Okay, and we haven't started that work. We're gonna get to that later in our agenda.
Yes,
We've got
correct.
something to talk about that. But then the city also has purchased these machines that eat up the street, and so that you can repair as needed, kind of like a Band-Aid, but a good one, better than potholes for sure. And so right now you're focusing on Barbara, but you keep hitting the potholes, and it messes up the machine. It's happened a couple times. Yeah, yeah. But you're talking to residents and leaving flyers, like as you're going to these streets, and you're gonna start, you know, doing construction on the roads that the city themselves is working on outside of the project. You're letting residents know that you're gonna be working on the streets and giving them plenty of notice and all of that.
We did initially.
Okay,
And their expectations, I certainly understand their expectations, you know, that we would, you know, continue on.
mhm,
But we did not put out flyers whenever we were down.
okay.
You know, there's a, you know, time of printing, the manpower
Yeah.
and everything else. But initially, yes, whenever we go onto the streets, we hand out flyers.
Can we put something on Facebook? Do you put anything on the Lacy Lakeview Neighborhood Watch that says, hey, we're working on this street, or we're gonna be working on this street, just so folks kinda know and expect it?
Calvin has updated people on Facebook.
Okay,
Yep.
As to, the goings on, you know,
Mhm.
and people, you know, voicing their concerns on Facebook.
yeah.
And the answers those.
I'm just trying to find ways to communicate.
Right. When we hit this last manhole, unfortunately, we had some personnel that were gone into admin, and we weren't able to get it done at that time. But yes, we would get the people that take care of the Facebook and the webpage and everything, and update it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I saw what you guys do. I saw your machines. I saw what it looks like when they're broken off. Like, and I know none of that is easy. I just think it just settles folks down when there's real good communication and they know what to expect. So that's really the only reason I had even asked Calvin about it and wanted to bring it up today, in case there were folks on Barbara that were wondering what the heck is going on. Mhm.
Okay. Really last thing on staff reports, and this is kind of something new, I guess we heard this morning. Apparently there's been 6, I guess, explosive devices found around McLennan County. One was found at the courthouse, one was found out in McGregor, and one was actually found here in Lacy Lakeview today. And my understanding is the ATF come and picked that one up. So it's actually a legitimate bomb. So I guess maybe a question for the chief, do you feel like this could be anti-data center related, since they be strategically placed?
So I was gonna say, so the FBI came out today, and, so they haven't had any links, right? For example, the McLennan County thing was a threat, I didn't find anything. The McGregor thing, they found like a, kind of like a
Pressure cooker.
pressure cooker kind of device, right? Our thing today was a makeshift pipe bomb, if you will, like at a business. The guy drove to work, and it was already on his business truck, right? And, but the county's bomb squad came out, and so did the FBI, and they disposed of it, didn't keep it, and they don't have any links so far. And I imagine if they thought it was important, they would have kept it instead of just disposed of it. So, but we're in contact with them, but only one here. Everything else was elsewhere.
And this has happened before, like within a year or so, right? Because on the block of my house, like by where I'm at, there was a pipe bomb on a bike, I
Right, and
think.
those were, none of those were live though. We had everybody come, and they couldn't have exploded.
Okay.
Whereas these can.
Okay, just clarifying, it's not the first time that's happened in Lacy Lakeview. Yeah.
Okay, any other questions on staff reports? Okay.
Are we done? Okay. Well, recess work session to convene into regular session at 6:21. Item 5, approval of minutes from the city council meeting held on June 23rd, 2026. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the minutes from the city council meeting held on June 23rd, 2026.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right, please poll the council.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Ms. Jamison,
Yes.
Mr. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Hurst,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
and Mr. Wilson.
Yes. Item 6, discussion and consideration of a motion to approve Resolution 2026-3, a resolution regarding a contract for the purchase, or a purpose of financing used dump trucks. Finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is passed is open to the public as required by law and declaring an emergency. Do I have a motion?
I'm going to approve Resolution 2026-03, a resolution regarding a contract for the purpose of financing used dump trucks, finding and determining that the meeting at which this resolution is passed is open to the public as required by law and declaring an emergency.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I had just asked Calvin about this because we went over this in detail in our budget the last session we were talking about, because this was one of the things I was asking about on the equipment for the public works section.
Right.
And so you had said you were expecting about $60,000
correct.
for those, and now it went from 60,000 to 150,000. So
Well, no, it went from 60,000 per vehicle to 75.
okay,
So it went from
So it's
120 to
per vehicle.
150, and that was after we really got to doing some research, trying to find what we're really looking for. I think it was gonna take 75,000,
okay.
and we're hoping we can get it for that.
I mean, honestly, I have no idea what a dump truck is supposed to go for, but I
Well,
imagine
new, you know,
that
they run about
sounds
250.
yeah. It's
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds reasonable, and I know that we need them because I've seen them. So.
All right, any other discussion? All right, please poll the council.
Ms. Jamison,
Yes.
Mr. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
Yes?
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Mr. Hurst,
Yes.
and Mr. Rivera.
Yes.
Item 7, discussion and consideration of action to approve the Lacy Lakeview Street Improvements Project and accept the bid in the amount of $6,506,434.19 from Holy Contractors, LLC, as the low bidder for the project, and approve, reject alternative 1 and alternate 2. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve the Lacy Lakeview Street Improvements Project and accept the bid in the amount of $6,506,434.19 from Holy Contractors LLC as the low bidder for the project and reject alternate 1 and alternate 2.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion?
I do want to talk
Yes.
about this one, guys, because it has the mailboxes. Calvin and I talked about this too. And just so everyone
Yes.
knows, Calvin did call me before this meeting. Like, I
Yes.
sent him a lot of questions and we talked about a lot of this, but I mean, I just, for the sake of anyone that's watching or any residents that are here that want to know about it. Calvin, do you want to explain the mailbox? Do you want me to?
Well, actually, we have our engineer here. Would you like to explain the mailboxes?
I sure can, so,
Yeah, you'll have to go up
Yeah.
to the podium.
oh, okay, I can do that.
And of course, name and address and all that.
My name's Kyle Dunlop, I'm the project engineer on this project, I work with Walker Partners. So on this project, we did have 2 alternates, so there was the base bid, and particularly, I'll just talk about the mailbox item unless there's any other questions, but on the mailboxes, the base bid for the project, the mailboxes to be replaced along Donald, Virginia, and Walnut, were included as mailbox clusters on the base bid. So that is what Postmaster USPS now requires on all new construction. So those are the little clusters you can drive up to and get your mail at those clusters in lieu of individual mailboxes at each individual house. So that was included within the base bid, and the alternate, so alternate number 1 would remove those clusters from the project and instead just replace standard mailboxes in front of each house. So there'd be no clusters, it'd just be more akin to what's out there right now, where individual mailboxes are at each one of those, each individual house. The change on that was, I believe it was $66,000.
$66,000.
Yeah.
So the low bidder on the project, the proposal that was chosen, and that's being put on here for Holy Contractors, that would equate to an increase of $66,000 for individual mailboxes to be placed at each individual house in lieu of those clusters.
How many mailboxes is that? How many homes are you talking about for $66,000? Do you know?
I could tell you the number. This didn't print quite great.
If it's in here,
It's
I
a
don't,
significant amount.
there was a large number of mailboxes to make it the
Everything on
66,000.
Walnut, Virginia, and Donald. So the total number here. It's 135 mailboxes, and those were bid at $800 a piece. So
That's
You need to get the mailbox
insane.
business, don't we?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so for, for the council, thank you so much
Yeah.
for covering that. And, but for, for the council, this is gonna really tick some people off.
Well, that, city manager and I had that conversation before the meeting. And, there's a business perspective, lowest cost, least cost. It is the way the post office wants to go for new construction, but this really isn't new construction,
It
right? I mean,
isn't.
it's not required. The post office, that's a little different than what I think, I don't know this, I'd say what we told, but certainly what I understood was that we were obligated to do it. And so, I don't know how other people on the council feel about it, but, I would be inclined to amend the motion and if you're amenable
Yeah.
to do the individuals, because we're getting a lot of grief that we don't deserve. This would just be something that we would entirely deserve,
Well, I mean, I almost wonder if it, instead of just spending the 66,000, is there a way we can engage the public? Can we engage our residents, specifically the ones that live on those streets and then would be impacted, to see? I mean, what if the
I'll second that.
Oh,
We have
I
a
know.
motion and a second. Any discussion?
I do have discussion. I know you guys are not gonna like me, and this is nothing against anyone at the city, just so you guys know. But I did do some research and I looked, and in the state of Texas, the average amount of the city contribution to the retirement fund is 14.7%. So what we're proposing to approve is to put this above what the average is across the state. And I'm wondering, is it possible to do a 0.5% instead of a full percent? That would bring us at least right under what the overall average is, as opposed to over the overall average.
We're currently doing, employee contributes 7, city match with 14, okay? We wanna go to the employee contribute 8, city match it with 16. Now, keep in mind, this year, we're not doing a COLA increase because of our insurance. So I think this is a way to try to help our employees out.
Okay, for clarification, it said 1%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
So how does 1% equal 16?
Okay,
Yeah.
because the employee puts in 8% of their salary, the city matches it at 2 to 1, which is 16%. And we're currently doing 7 and 14.
That's not, the motion is a 1% increase.
Mm-hmm.
The way the motion is written is
Yeah.
1%.
The way the motion is written and it's on the floor, made and second is a 1% increase.
So that would put it at 15,
And that would
and it
equal,
doesn't say anything about the
Well, it
employees.
goes from 7% to 8%.
Well, that's the
that's 1%.
that's the employees. You don't require them to do one way or the other, right?
No, they have to participate.
They have to participate.
They have to
it's
participate.
mandatory.
The way the existing agreement in our HR is written is that we will match 2 to 1 whatever the employees,
Yes,
okay.
correct.
So if the employee adds a percent, then we add 2.
Correct.
So this is wordsmithing,
So,
Counselor.
I'm telling you, the motion that was put on the floor was to increase the city's rate to 1%.
Yeah.
which is
And I'm not
15.
saying that's your intent, but that's what's on the floor.
I got you.
That's what
Okay.
you have to decide one way or the other,
Which is 15.
which would be up to 15.
So it'd be 7.5 and 15 instead of 8 and 16.
Calvin, when I talked to you about this yesterday,
Mhm.
and on 1%, I asked you how much money that would involve the city,
Yes,
and you told me it would be $72,000.
71,196.
Okay.
And
You
ju-
also told me that those funds would come from the general fund
General fund and water.
and the water
sewer.
and sewer
That's
fund.
correct. Because we have employees in both funds.
Right,
Yes,
okay.
that's correct.
And to put in perspective for the average of contribution on retirement, whether we're above it or below it, where are we on compensation to our employees? Are our employees compensated at, above, or below the average?
We haven't done a salary survey, I think in, a couple of years now? But I feel like we're probably low, on the low end, but
That would be my
Sure.
sense.
yeah.
In which case, an increase would be appropriate. We might not be able to help them out with salary, but we can certainly help them out with retirement.
Yeah.
So what we have, I think, is a motion that doesn't achieve what has been discussed between staff. So, would you prefer to amend your motion, or would you prefer to vote on the motion?
I prefer to vote.
To vote? Okay. So that would be taking it to 15%, not
So that'd be
16.
7.5 and 15.
All right, any other discussion? Laurie, please poll the council.
Mr. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Wilson,
No.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
Mr. Rivera,
No.
Ms. Jamison,
No,
Mr. Hurst,
No.
So the motion fails. Do we have another motion, or is this issue decided?
This specific issue
Issue is
is
decided.
decided.
Okay.
You can bring a new issue back at
The
different,
next.
at another council meeting.
That's what I thought,
But it's
okay.
gotta be clear this.
Just wanna make sure. Okay, item 9, discussion and consideration of action to approve resolution 2026-04. A resolution requesting financial participation from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for financial participation and making certain findings in connection therewith. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve resolution 2026-04, a resolution requesting financial participation from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for financial participation and making certain findings in connection therewith.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Do we have any discussion?
Mayor Wilson, I just wanted to kind of get some clarification from you on this, mainly because it has to do with grants. I did talk to Calvin about this, and I have also been with Jim, and I saw the big water tower that needs millions of dollars of replacement, and I think this is a great way to be able to do that. But you know, in one of the last meetings, you had mentioned that you had asked Calvin to get with me on looking at grants, because that was one of the things, you know, as I was running and campaigning, it was kind of like looking for other solutions outside the data center. And so I think this is really great. But Calvin and I didn't really talk about this, and we haven't gotten with anyone from Grants Works yet. So I just want to make sure I understand your expectations, because
No.
I don't want to take over on doing any type of grant stuff. I honestly have no experience with it at all, but I'm willing to do the research. I just wanted to know what your expectations
I
are.
asked that question of Calvin this afternoon,
Oh, okay, good.
and, and he had indicated Grant Works had not, I think we talked on the
Yeah,
phone this
Amy, I think
morning.
you were included in the email I sent to GrantWorks.
Mhm.
Yeah. they have not
And he
responded
said that he
back
had not
yet, so-
received a response from Grant Works, so I asked him to send a, did you get that out this afternoon?
No, I did not.
Okay, well, we need to nag them about getting back with you. But
Okay.
if I understood it correctly from you, this was, someone approached us.
Yes, actually about, I think, 2 weeks ago, Jim, or a week ago,
I'll make that motion right now.
about a week and a half, SPI Engineering approached us with this, and they are very big engineers out in East Texas, but they now have a office here in Waco. And they approached us with this here, and it felt like we were very good candidates to be able to get this grant from Texas Water Development Board. It is strictly for water. They will fill this grant out and submit it on our behalf, okay? No cost to the city. The only thing they ask in return is if we are awarded this grant, that we work with them for the engineering, okay? They don't do grant administration, so we would have to reach out to GrantWorks or another grant company to do the administration. We have experience with the GrantWorks because they've done our ARPA grant, so I think I'd probably reach out to them. And in the discussion with them, you know, I did tell them that Walker Partners is our city engineer, but under the circumstances, Walker Partners is very good working with other engineers. And if they were able to secure us this grant, I only feel like it was right that we would want to work with them on the design. And what we talked about on this, and of course, a $10 million grant. So what we'd like to see with a $10 million grant is to build a water tower on the north end of the city, which would in turn, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jim, let us have one plane of water, one pressure plane, and also we'd be able to eliminate the old Northcrest Tower, which is in need of work, probably to the tune of at least $500,000, $750,000.
And just so everyone knows, there's approximately 50 feet of elevation change from the north end of the city down to where the Lakeview Tower is now.
Right.
So there is, and it's lower down, you know, as you go.
Yes, lower
towards
here,
Waco.
that's the north, that's the highest
So there's a
point.
big advantage from gaining the highest point in your city, which at the moment is up close to the Conley School.
Correct.
And is this
And
grant?
also, in turn, that would benefit Conley School, because then they could probably get rid of their pump, because they have to have a pump to be able to pump enough pressure. So it would benefit them also.
And the grant is for potable water, is that right?
Ma'am?
Is it for potable water only?
Yeah, it's potable water only, yes.
Yes,
It's for our
okay.
water system.
It'd probably allow us to not have to maintain the two we have, which somewhere between $1 and $2 million to refurbish them, you know?
it's not a guarantee that it'll be one pressure plane. That's what we're hoping for.
Yeah.
We'd have to work with, Walker Partners and, you know, discuss the theories, you know, to try to accomplish, one pressure zone.
So we have another 2 years of engineering?
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. But that's what we would like to work towards is one pressure zone.
And this doesn't, just to be clear, this doesn't impact our relationship with Walker Partners.
I would hope it would not.
Yeah.
He's shaking his head no.
He's a
I
street
mean,
guy, he didn't care
Yeah,
about
well, I
water.
can, you know, and Walker Partners, and correct me if I'm wrong, do not do grants. Y'all don't fill out grants for people, do you?
We do on occasion, yes.
Okay,
Not all the time, definitely not.
yeah,
We do on occasion.
yeah.
I have two questions.
Yes, sir.
First of all, is there any kind of,
Your mic.
control?
Your mic.
Thank you. Is there any kind of control over, fees? So if they do the grant for us, we then are required to use their services?
We are not required to use their services.
Okay,
They merely ask us if we would,
okay.
okay?
So then we would bid out basically the engineering
No,
fees?
we would not bid it out because it's professional services.
Okay,
We can actually work with them on that cost of design.
Same way we did in the street bond, I think.
Right.
okay, all right. And then, the term one plane?
One pressure plane?
One pressure plane
Yes.
means that we will just have one tower,
No,
Possibly.
no,
possibly.
no.
No, it means that both pump stations work in conjunction together. Rather than, so currently right now, the Myers pump station pumps basically onto the south end of town and towards the towards the west.
Okay,
Smith Pump Station provides water pressure on the north end of town. We have valves closed in between those zones, so the water don't go in between either one.
they could if we opened up the valves.
If you open up the valves, then you're into one plane.
Okay,
And that's what we'd like to achieve. You know, but elevation differences may keep us from that.
okay.
I don't know the pumping curves and everything to the Smith pump station and compare them to the Myers pump station.
Okay, thank you.
It gives us options at least.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For
so
sure.
we would have options.
Yep.
Are we looking to increase our water capacity with this?
Not really, no. No, it really would not increase our water capacity. And we have the ability to pull 2.6 million gallons a day, which we don't use.
But our pumping capacity.
Oh, pumping capacity?
Yeah, pumping capacity. I mean, I know we have some housing in that area.
Yeah,
A couple of big projects that are
Yeah.
pending,
yeah,
but.
we're looking at some development up on the north end, and so that would certainly help. We talked to one developer about a housing subdivision, so.
So it's coming, you know, and at
Mhm.
some point, you gotta upgrade that too. It just probably wouldn't happen on this project, but it would make it easier. Any other questions? Laurie, poll the council, please.
Ms. Jamison?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Gage?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes,
And Mr. Olvera?
Yes.
All right, item 10, discussion and consideration to approve putting resolute, you wanna do something? Okay. Speak, yes, okay. Discussion and consideration to approve putting Resolute Building Solutions on retainer for professional consulting and advisory services. This will assist Lacy Lakeview with land use strategy and long-term growth objectives. We have 3 people that signed up to speak on this item. First of which is Sarah Menarchik.
Sarah Menarchik Lenart, 426 Ross Road. What I'm talking about tonight, I'm going to read a few things and then I'll explain. Yesterday on Lacy Lakeview Neighborhood Awareness or Facebook, there was a post that said Lacy Lakeview is run by people who want to destroy a neighboring city by putting in a hyperscale data center while they reap the tax benefits. The people I have met have been great. The people who run the city to the ground, not so much. Mr. Calvin's Hottie's response, Calvin being the city manager of Lacy Lakeview, here is his response. Lacy Lakeview is not trying to put in a data center. That would be Infrakey who is working to build the data center. The person's response, then stop working to help them bring it. I know they need Lacy Lakeview or else they wouldn't have come to Lacy Lakeview. They need Lacy Lakeview, and your support and willingness to help them is why people don't like city officials. Here's my comment. This is like the drunk driver who gets behind the wheel, kills a family of 4, and then says, "It's not my fault. I didn't build the car that I drove. It's Chevrolet's fault." No, it's the person who took the wheel. It's the city council who is trying to help what's coming about in a rural residential neighborhood. The results are still devastating. The family that loses their family members, devastated. The data center that goes into a rural neighborhood, it's devastating because of all the negative that goes with data centers. It's proven the health, the resources, the electricity, the air pollution, it's all there. And I'm asking that the city council find another way and do not go through with helping Infrakey put in a devastating project. Thank you.
Lori Hill?
Lori Hill, 120 Shirley, Lacy Lakeview. I just kind of want to add to hers and why things are like they are. Number one, that man sitting right over there, Calvin Hottie, not only is he the city manager, he is a contract manager and a construction manager. I don't care how many times you tell me the low bid was given by a company, I will always question whether or not it was a low bid or one of his buddies that he worked with over in Waco. I heard he got fired over in Waco, but I haven't been able to lay my hand on the documents. I hope somebody's able to sue him into the same poverty I'm in. And for you, Mr. Mayor, CIA, overseas CIA, you shouldn't even be on this board. You're nothing, neither one of y'all. This man has done, ever since he was city manager, he has done nothing but drag this city downhill. He takes our money. He doesn't do what he says. He lies to us. He's lied to us. He was supposed to have called and come by to see the debacle that is behind my property owned by Encore, a multi-billion-dollar company, because there is a forest by there. 120 Shirley, the only mobile home on the street. Anybody can drive by there and just look through the fence and see. I have COPD. I have lots of other, I have allergies. I am allergic to everything. And every spring, I live in one room in that trailer because that's all I can afford to pay for to air condition. I can breathe in the air condition. I cannot breathe in the springtime. And they will not, they do 2 runs with a lawnmower. It's not even a lawnmower, it's more like a, and I didn't see him Thursday when he said he'd be there. I haven't seen Encore out there doing anything. See over there grinning? probably. But there is nobody. These two people on this board, y'all were doing nothing but dragging this city down, and y'all were taking Ross and Elmont with them if y'all let this data center go through. Y'all claim that y'all didn't ask for it? Yeah, you did. Because y'all signed non-disclosure agreements. That should be illegal in itself. So, y'all don't care about the people. Y'all don't care about the pledge that y'all just did to that flag right there. We're the people that respect that flag. Y'all respect greed. Y'all want the money and the power.
Megan Pratt?
I'm Megan Pratt. I live at 6409 Elephant Butte Drive in Waco, 76708, China Spring area. I was born and raised in Chalk Bluff. I did K through 12 at Conway. I played Little League T-ball through 8th grade, right here at these ball fields behind here. So I'm very familiar with this area. And my dad still lives out in Chalk Bluff. I hope to have his property on White Rock Creek one day, and that's right downstream from where this data center is supposed to go. I have children that I care about whether they have water to drink and food to eat when they're grown. And I feel like greed is taking over the world. I would like to know whose pockets are being filled by these data centers and the billionaires, because nobody that I have ever talked to, a regular citizen, is on board with these data centers. There's no benefits to them that anybody has been able to come up with other than money. So I just ask people to take that into consideration, take our children, our grandchildren into consideration, and ask yourself, at what point can we eat money? Because that's a legitimate concern. And when all the water's gone, what are we gonna do? We're already in a drought-stricken state. We already have been hearing for years about politicians talking about the water emergency, and now suddenly we have all of this water available for hundreds of data centers to come in and use. And I'd like to know out of what thin air that water is gonna be used or found. And I think everybody here should really look at the facts versus the benefits, the risks versus the benefits, because I do not think that the benefits outweigh the risks. So, thank you.
Okay. All right, just to restate item 10, discussion and consideration to approve putting Resolute Building Solutions on retainer for professional consulting and advisory services. This will assist Lacy Lakeview with land use strategy and long-range growth objectives. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve putting Resolute Building Solutions on retainer for professional consulting and advisory services. This will assist Lacy Lakeview with land use strategies and long-range growth objectives.
I second.
We have a motion and a second, and is this the point where he makes the presentation? Would you like to come to the podium, sir, and take questions?
Mayor? Hey, I would like to start out by saying, one of the reasons that we're actually kind of looking at this right here is this is our Unified Development Code that was developed in 2000, okay? And this goes along with our map of our zoning. And so one of the things we're looking at trying to do is, number one, update our Unified Development Code And number two, look at our land use and our zoning. And so,
And
that's
do-
one of the reasons.
Do we have a strategy for growth and plans and
No,
all
sir.
this?
At this time, we do not.
Have we ever had one?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
Like I say, this was done in 2000. This is the most recent
26-year-old.
we have.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we've added some substantial numbers of acres over those couple of decades.
We have. We've done some annexations, and, you know, we may do more. We may not. We don't know. But I think we need to plan the best land use of what we have now and, you know, look forward to.
Prepare for the future.
Absolutely prepare for the future.
All right, your turn.
Council, I appreciate you having me here
Your
today.
name, your
And
name.
I'm sorry. I appreciate you having me here today, Mayor, City Manager.
Name and address.
Name is Gregory McKinney Vaughn. I'm the Principal Consultant at Resolute Building Solutions. Address is 804 Meadow Mountain Drive, Waco, Texas 76712. I can appreciate some of the comments that have been made today, almost very personally, by the way. I'm an old Navy operator, naval operator in intelligence and so forth, and so I lost my mother to a drunk driver while I was down in Panama, fighting in Panama, and wasn't able to really be effective in her funeral, and I was a pretty young guy, so I can appreciate that. And he was driving a company truck, by the way. So I've been personally affected by that exact kind of metaphor. And also, you know, I've bled for the flag. I'm a partially disabled veteran, and I'm extraordinarily proud of this country. I'm extremely proud to be a Central Texas. I was born in Central Texas. I was educated in West Texas. I've had the opportunity to be kind of all over the planet a little bit. And I retired at a young age to start Resolute Building Solutions. I retired at 50. I don't take on a lot of clients. I'm not looking at the city of Lacy Lakeview to be some sort of profit center for me by any means. I just see that there are a lot of changes that are happening right now within Central Texas, and those are exciting. It's an exciting time to be a Central Texan, regardless whether it's data centers or not. It's an exciting time to be here, and we all have a lot of opportunities to be positive about certain things instead of everything being so negative. You know, I was proactively contacted today because my personal address got doxxed online, and I didn't understand that. I'd never been doxxed before, and that kind of surprised me, but because I'd never had anything like that happen to me. But you know, my proposal is simply this. My job isn't to steer anybody. I don't have any relationship with Emperkey at all. At all, none. I've never had a conversation with them. Don't know them. Haven't done any business with them. Don't know anything about them. I included that name on the proposal simply through my own research. It didn't have anything to do with anybody telling me. It was through my own research, which is why I started coming to the meetings. I came to a couple of meetings several months ago, and you know, all I want to do is be able to provide the best possible service I can to present the city leadership with the best possible information they can harness to make the best possible decisions they can make. Not my opinions or what I'm trying to drive or what have you, but to give you the best possible information that I can provide to the city so that it makes the best possible decisions for its citizens and stakeholders, period. Period.
And so to that end, could you run through your qualifications and your
You bet.
experience and the things that
Oh,
you've done?
absolutely. You betcha. So after I was honorably discharged from the Navy, by the way, I was decorated at the state capitol by a Lacy Lakeview person. Governor Ann Richards presented me with an admiralty in the Texas Navy at the Texas Capitol. She's a Lacy Lakeview resident. So, and I'm very proud of that. But anyway, I went to work for one of the nation's largest commercial roofing and building envelope companies in the country in the early 90s. And so, and I'm not talking about the kind of roofing company that's, you know, going to do the commercials and that kind of thing. We did NASA things like that. Big projects, multi-million dollar projects and campuses. And I opened up a location for those guys back in the 90s in Lubbock, Texas. And I built that location up to a 120 employee location. And so we handled all of Texas Tech for multiple years, multi-site, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of work throughout decades. We did projects. We did projects for NASA, as I said. We did projects, multi large-scale projects at Air Force bases all over the country. And so working in large scale, I actually also did some data centers back in 2014 and 2015. They were building data centers back then in Virginia and Iowa and different other places. But right now, Virginia has more data centers than any. But anyway, I roofed some of those and we did the exterior. So we didn't just do roofing, we did decks, roofs, cladding, glazing, waterproofing, below grade waterproofing. So everything associated with these commercial buildings from the exterior and harnessing the energy that was being put into those buildings, that was what I managed and that's what my team did. By the grace of God, I had a 30-year career. I never once did not finish a project, and I never once got sued. And I'm very thankful for that because I do things right. I do things transparently. I know that's been a kind of a...
And so all that's to say, you understand,
the person
having worked with cities.
That's exactly right. The city of Lubbock is another city that I've worked for and did multi-site projects for the city of Lubbock.
So working with the permitting department and all of that. Yeah.
With all, from the ground up. So it's I understand that tax dollars are everything. Everything. And I'm the last guy that's ever going to take something from a tax dollar. I'm never going to waste a cent. I mean, I'm diametrically opposed to it. If anything, I don't even move unless the city has a specific task for me. The city becomes the quarterback. All I am is the athlete that you put in position to go make a play. And I make that play very transparently in front of everybody and provide very detailed notes, receipts. I mean, everything is very front and center.
So that means you'll be able to identify the properties that would be most suitable for large facilities as opposed to the ones that might be suitable for other types of activity, correct?
You bet. That's exactly right. One of the things Calvin said is that, yes, right now the city is operating way behind. The city should be operating right now on the 2018 International Building Code, and right now it's not. So most of your other municipalities that are trying to stay up to snuff on that, they have utilized the 2018 International Building Code. So that needs to happen fairly quick. But then we're not just trying to specifically for Lacy Lakeview. So.
And have you had a chance to look at our codes?
Yes.
And do we have, my concern, this is one of the reasons I suggested Calvin consider you. My concern is that we've got categories of businesses that may be showing up in our city that are not addressed in our code.
Right. That's exactly right.
Right?
That's exactly right. So, essentially what's happened is and I can't speak for the code enforcement, but the code needs to be brought to current and it needs to be applied not just for how the city is now, but what my, and I'm going to share an opinion now. I come from the school that it's better to manage than react. Mm-hmm. So part of what we're talking about with codes and so forth is getting the data to you guys so that instead of having to react, you're managing in front of it. Because when you're managing out in front of it, you're saving time and money. When reaction is happening, when you're reacting, it's lost. It's lost revenue almost every time. So, yeah, so.
And you would be available under this contract for advice and consent on our existing inspection department.
That's right.
And or any engineers, because most people may not be aware, engineers are allowed to do inspections and certifications.
Right.
In lieu of cities, right? So
that's exactly right.
But the city still needs somebody to interact with the engineer and talk.
That's correct. Like all things, like language. Every different trade has a different language. engineers speak a certain language, architects speak a certain language, private equity people, different languages, different languages.
Even attorneys.
Attorneys. But absolutely, one of the things, and also too, I'm going to do as much as I can pro bono wise. One of the things that I did a lot of pro bono work for Waco ISD for all of their bond work. I did a lot of their inspectional work pro bono. I did all of their punch list work pro bono, saving them, because they don't have a lot of money. So it's not, for me, it's not about trying to, the motivation isn't the contract. The motivation is being able to be a part of a great team and serve a great team and have a lasting impact, when my time on this planet's done. That's the motivation.
Thank you. Any questions from the council?
Yeah, so basically, to reiterate, this isn't just about the data center. This isn't just about the data center as it was proposed and, everybody just took it and ran, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
thank you.
Yep. So this motion is for a $3,000 holding fee, right? Like this is a retainer.
It's a retainer.
So the motion is for the retainer of that. And I talked to Calvin, and it does say Infrakey on here, and so that was a little misleading. But Calvin explained to me about the Unified Development Code, and I will say this city is way behind, and we have made all kinds of decisions that have upset residents all over the place with concrete plants and where zoning is and where multi-residential homes are going up instead of individual resident homes. I think there are all those things that need to be looked at and addressed. Are those the types of things you'll be
Yes,
looking
ma'am.
at and addressing?
The ready mix
Yeah.
plant, or the precast concrete plant was actually what I came to Greg the first time about. Looking at all the development that's potentially coming at us, knowing that we just went through a situation where a business moved into an area where it was zoned to be. And technically we couldn't have prevented it from happening, yet the residents got very upset, and there's some communication issues there as well, both on the part of the company and the city. There's always multiple layers to most cakes. But I thought it was a good opportunity, having just been bitten that way. Let's get out ahead of this, manage ahead, bring in somebody that knows the ropes.
I don't have any objections to having somebody that helps us plan those things. I think it's very important and critical, and I think it's something we probably should have done a long time ago. What I would say is any decisions that are made will be brought to the council for us to decide on in an open meeting, and there'll be transparency in that. Is that true? As planning and things are going on and decisions are being made?
Well, actually, yes, and to further that, what we've talked with city manager about is having more work sessions and doing more at the council meeting. There's something, this talking, and you can't respond, easily because Robert's rules.
Yep.
So we're gonna expand the use of work sessions a little bit so we can bring in people like Greg. We've talked to the BRA, we've talked to our city engineers about bringing them in a work session so we can just sit down and have a free-flowing conversation instead of being constrained by this.
So Councilwoman, one of the things I wanted to share with you too, so I'm certified by OSHA through their executive program. So one of the things I'm going to be doing too is when the council in the city has a contractor that's doing work, I'm going to make certain they're doing it safely. So we mitigate, the goal also is to mitigate any risk the city might have by having somebody contracted that's not playing by the rules. So that's going to be an aspect of my role as well. So.
Okay. The only other thing I had talked to Calvin about was, this is a $3,000 retainer. That makes perfect sense. I think it's a reasonable amount of money, but there was no estimate on how many hours we're talking about, and it looks like your fees can go up to $200 an hour. So what I would propose to the council, I don't think that affects this, and maybe this is something we put on an agenda somewhere down the road, but I think we should maybe set some limits and some restraints on how much money is spent, that we all agree, see where we're at. Like there's some type of stopping point that says, all right, we've paid this retainer, now we spent this amount of money, we need to talk about what we've gotten, what's our return on our investment, and, before we move to the next step.
If I understand it correctly, I think that is covered with a retainer. Technically, he's allowed to bill up to that amount.
Right,
and then has to
3,000.
approve
Okay,
over that.
and then we'll go beyond that.
And then
I love
anything
it.
special. If I run into an issue where we need to bring in a different person, I'm going to come beforehand. I'm all about working together and being very transparent with mutual agreement. I'm never gonna present you something that I don't think the city needs.
And I think what we could expect is, you know, you'd be well below that for a while, and then 6 to 12 months down the road, we may have hit that ceiling, and then we could come back to the council and talk about
again.
those steps, with increase it or go to a different structure. But yeah, this will get us started at least doing what we need to do, and we'll make amendments as we need to.
How many other people were considered for this? How many other people were considered for this?
We talked to a couple of consultants last year.
Yeah.
They were in the $600 an hour range.
Yeah.
And I just thought, this is crazy,
Yeah,
you
we
know?
just-
It's
we
crazy.
kind of backed off of that quick.
Well, I'm not trying to be it's really not about the money for me and my wife. It's not why I'm doing it.
You're retired, technically.
Yes, I am. I've been retired, and we retired here to Central Texas, and you know, this is my home, and
How'd you hear about him?
Hmm?
How'd you hear about him?
His wife works with my wife at Baylor. Any other questions? Laurie, please poll the council. Oops, caught her mid-note.
Mr. Rivera,
Yes.
Ms. Jamison,
No.
Mr. Daniel,
Yes.
Mr. Hurst,
Yes.
Ms. Gage,
Yes.
and Mr. Wilson.
Yes. Item number 11, public comment. First item on the, thank you, sir, very much, sorry about that. Brian Waterhouse.
Hi, Brian Waterhouse, 4001 Myers Lane. Just wanted to mention, Gail was not able to be here tonight, but the senior socials tomorrow, it'll be at the Civic Center. It'll begin promptly at 2 o'clock. We're gonna have representatives from Conley ISD come to and provide transportation for those in attendance to take a tour of all the campuses, answer questions, kind of give more of an insight on what happens, what goes on, answer any questions they may have, and then at the end of that, they're going to have, the Conley alumni is going to be providing ice cream. So we're trying to invite and remind the public, as well as the council, to attend.
Thanks for what you're doing. Jeremiah Vallecius, did I say it right?
Thank you for letting me be able to speak.
Your name and address for the people on.
Yes.
Yeah.
My name is Jeremiah Daniel Vallecius. I live at 6124 Lavaca Drive, and I actually came all the way up here from Belton. I'm mostly here to advocate for the water. There's nothing I can really do or say to change anybody's opinions or votings, but I can offer the truth that I have been able to see as I have traveled around this country. I was born in California and I was raised up in the deserts, from the high desert to the Sonoran, through the Mojave. I know the dirts, I know the dunes, I know all that. And a precious commodity out in there is the water. And the one truth that I have been told and have realized as I have gone, through my life, is it is said in the Bible that God had created us in the image of himself. And one thing that I have noticed through creation is that all of us have the ability to create, to build. And it was told to me that first there is a thought, then there is the creation and the making. So God saw all of this and started creating everything that is the stars, the planets, the elements, And when you create something, you have to put love into it, you know. I attribute to that's why Texas has the best barbecue. It's because of the love that goes into it, right? And that love that was put into creation is water. You know, everywhere that you see water, you see life emerge, and that's why scientists are searching through the cosmos for water, because they know that when there's water, there's life. So I really can't say what to do with it. You know, the only thing that I came up here to say was the truth, and to take care of the things that God has given us: the water, the air, the land, and one another. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Ken Hodge? And again, Ken's 3 minutes, just to.
Yeah, I got me a timer this time.
Okay.
Thanks for remembering that, though. I appreciate that. Yeah, my name's Ken Hodge, and I live at 212 Coventry in Hewitt. And I am a senior project engineer, L3 Harris, here in Waco. Been out there 33 years. Before this meeting, I passed out 10 copies of 2 presentations. One is on data center power, and the other one's on, quote, closed loop systems. I don't have time here in 3 minutes to go through all that, obviously. I just want, and I also asked Shauna and Sarah to post those to the Stop the Waco Data Center website so that the public can have access to that information. As an engineer, I think a lot of us don't, if you're not an engineer, I think a lot of people don't really understand the numbers sometimes, what they mean. My wife's a CPA. I have a hard time understanding the finance stuff. So I put these together that maybe will be beneficial to everyone to take a look at this information. It's been vetted. I have a colleague's a thermal engineer who also reviewed some of this information with me as well. So just for the first one, I put together on data center power. I'm going to run through just some kind of highlights very quickly. Traditional data centers, the first slides 2 and 3 cover traditional data centers versus, quote, hyperscale data centers. And there's been a big change in data center technology in recent years. Hyperscale takes on a whole new technology and a whole new meaning. The big difference is hyperscale data centers need speed, it's capacity, it's CPUs all chain linked together. Traditional data centers was about storage and retrieval, structured data. AI is not structured. And we can have discussions offline about that later if you like. The next 2 slides, slides 4 and 5, talk about AI scaling. How come you see the numbers every time there's a new data center announcement, it's 1 gigawatt, 2 gigawatts, and they're just getting bigger and bigger. And there's several reasons for that, but one is no one's put the brakes on them, right? There's no regulation. It's the Wild West right now. Billionaires in control, telling us what we have to have. So that's what the slides 4 and 5 kind of go through. It explains why the CPUs are linked together. They're trying to get what's called flops, floating line operations per second. We're just manipulating ones and zeros in these data centers. That's all we're doing. So there's a lot of detail. I know I got very little time. So the second presentation is on closed loops. And I know I don't have much time, but for closed loop systems, it's just that. The coolant is not exposed to the atmosphere, but that doesn't remove the heat. There still has to be a heat exchanger system to remove the heat from the closed loop. There's multiple ways to do that. There's hybrid systems. And I'll just say that closed loop does not solve a water problem whatsoever. The way you remove the heat is key. And so just keep that in mind. And in Texas, you're going to end up with what's most likely hybrid systems because dry cooling will not cut it in Texas. And I apologize, I don't have a lot of time, but just take a look at the data. If you have any questions, anybody in the council, I'm an engineer. I'd be glad to have discussions, technical discussions, anytime. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Nancy Neal? I'm sorry? Oh, okay, that's fine, that's fine. We don't require you to sign in, that's. It's not school, I promise. Shauna Finnegar?
Shauna asked me to read something, and it's in regard to hopefully a policy which will allow communication.
Yeah, sure. Lawyer says it's okay.
Again, this is, all right, who was the tall person? Greg was the tall person. This is from Shauna. She said, for the past 8 months, we've been fighting this proposed data center. One thing I hear over and over when I talk to people in Lacy Lakeview is that very few support it. The overwhelming majority of people I speak with simply don't want it. I always encourage people to attend council meetings, but that's not possible for everyone. Many residents have to work. Some have disabilities, and others have become frustrated because the only opportunity they have to speak is at the end of the meeting after agenda items have already been voted on. Thank you tonight to have that difference. That's from me. Because of that, I'd like to ask the council to consider adopting a policy that allows residents who can't attend in person to submit public comments online or by voicemail. Those comments could be read into the record during the meeting and included as part of the official public record. This would give more people in Lacy Lakeview the opportunity to participate in their local government and ensure their voices are heard, even if they can't be physically present. I would appreciate having this placed on a council agenda in August if a council member is willing to sponsor the item. Thank you.
Carla Garcia?
My name is Carla Garcia. I live at 2789 Ross Road in Ross. Before I begin my statement, Saturday, July 18th is National Data Center Protest Day. Waco has 2 protests. The first one at Freedom Corner, which is Waco Drive and Valley Mills Drive, from 9 to 10 a.m., and the second one at the Waco's Farmers Market from 11 to 1. Hope to see y'all there. Data center noise pollution is a real thing. Depending on the environment and equipment, continuous data center noise can typically be felt and heard at a low frequency from 1 to 3 miles away. The loud backup diesel generators during monthly tests can travel up to 5 miles. Noise levels from industrial-sized diesel generators can reach up to 105 decibels. As noisy as a jet flying overhead, except this is constant as long as the diesel generators are operating. Data centers don't belong in a neighborhood. The 24/7 drone from cooling systems and chillers produces a low-frequency hum. While it may only measure 60 to 80 decibels right at the property line, low-frequency sound waves travel exceptionally well through the air and can easily penetrate walls, making the persistent drone audible up to 2.5 miles away in quiet or rural areas. Studies have shown that noises above 65 decibels are enough to cause an increase in stress and blood pressure. High noise levels, particularly at night, can cause sleep deprivation and decrease cognitive performance, which shows up in poor school or work performance. The elderly, children, shift workers, the less affluent, and people with chronic illnesses are most likely to be impacted by this noise pollution. Data centers don't belong in a neighborhood. Data center neighbors have reported headaches, vertigo, nausea, sleep disturbances, ear pain, and hypertension. People who live near data centers can hear the noise day and night as a ringing in their ears. This raises concerns about the acoustic footprint and the resulting sleep disturbances, stress, and structural vibrations. Data centers don't belong in a neighborhood. Now let's turn to a local situation. Granbury now has a nearby Bitcoin mining center. Since its arrival, dozens of residents have complained of medical ailments, including vertigo, nausea, high blood pressure, migraines, fluid coming from the ears, and insomnia. Neighbors attribute this spike in health issues to excessive noise pollution from the Bitcoin mine. Sitting less than 100 yards away from a mobile home park, the sprawling facility hosts 60,000 computers and associated cooling and power systems, emitting noise at all hours of the day and night. The proposed data center in Ross has residents who live much closer than 100 yards.
Carla, your time's up, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, you finish your sentence.
This more?
Finish your sentence.
Okay. I find it devastating to think our neighbors in Lacy Lakeview have so little concern or empathy for the people and families in Ross. How can you justify ruining the health of the people of Ross? The people of Ross should not have their health ruined or their homes compromised or their livestock sickened because Lacy Lakeview needs money. The decisions you make today will impact us all in the future. Make it a future we can live with. Thank you for your time.
Last speaker, Mark Dawson.
Well, hi, everybody. Mr. Mayor and Mr. City Manager, had I any idea you were going to take so much flack tonight, I think I might have smuggled you in a bottle of scotch or something. I appreciate the...
welcome. We're used to it, but that would still be welcome.
Would you indeed? Well, we remain on the opposite side of the issue here, but nevertheless, you can drop in any time and I'll pour you a drink. I want to talk tonight about something that you brought up yourself a few minutes ago, Mr. Mayor. I want to talk about communication, and in particular, I want to cite a couple of concepts, a couple of ideas that get tossed around a lot in language, and we use that common language, but we don't seem to understand each other very well. I want to start out by talking about the number 12. In the course of my conversation with you, Mr. Mayor, a month to 6 weeks ago, you informed me in the context of our discussion of the impact of a data center that's proposed in Ross, that there are just 12 properties that butt up against the data center land. Is that?
I think it's closer to 24.
Is it closer to 24?
Yeah.
And that was in the context of your stating that the measure of the impact. We were talking about the impact of the data center. And I don't question the accuracy of that at all. I really had no idea how many properties abut that. What I do know is that 3,710 people have signed a petition that stand opposing the data center, and that from my colleague and cohort Carla just got through saying, she brought in some more specific statistics that I wasn't aware of, addressing just how far the impact reaches in terms of miles and radius. So that number 12, I think, is a poor representation of the understanding of impact. The last number I want to talk about tonight is the number 0. Because it's my understanding, as far as the information that I've got, which may be very limited, that number 0 represents the amount of grasp or specific clarity as far as the citizens of Lacy Lakeview having on the issue of the data center. That right now we have a 0 understanding of how many citizens either oppose or favor the data center. I hope you can do something about that understanding. Thank you.
Council members' input?
I have stuff, I gotta get to it. Sorry. I know one of the things I wanted to talk about was Conley ISD. I've mentioned them a couple times in our last meetings. I had an opportunity to go and read to the kids. They have a summer reading camp that they've got going on now with kids of a lot of different ages. And so I went and did that. And then the offer was extended to other folks in the city. And there are some other folks that went. I know Calvin went already once. And Jim, you and Abe got to go. And any other city folks here that are interested in going, it's like an hour to go and do that. And it's time well spent. And I would really encourage everyone to do that if you could. I would also tell the council that the new Conley board member that I've been working with said that she's very interested in participating in the city's Live in the 05 event that's coming up and would like to have some collaboration between the school district and the city for that event, if that's possible. So I thought I would present that to the council, something we might discuss, at some point. And then she also would like you guys to collaborate, or us, the city, to collaborate with the kickoff event that they'll do in August as school goes back in. So I know that you met with them as well, and there's just, this strong interest of kind of building that bridge and creating those strong relationships to help Conley, and so I just wanted to mention that. Calvin, you had also recommended when you and I met that I, potentially help out with some other city events that were going on. No one's really reached out to me. I just want to mention that I'm still open and willing to help with any of those events as they come up.
And one of those events that we've got coming up is we're going to be doing a 9/11 memorial. And for those people who don't know, the only 9/11 memorial in McLennan County is in Lacy Lakeview Veterans Park.
Yep, and that's is it Amanda? Is that the one who's?
Well, no, now it's going to be Drake Hawkins. Yeah.
Okay, well, I'm happy to work with them. I love coordinating things, especially like events and community events. So if they, and if anyone else on the council would like to join in doing that, I mean, anyone's welcome. I just think that's a fun thing to do.
And Amy, also something we talked about, and that was trying to do a farmer's market.
This is council members' input.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dave.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. I might have engaged the conversation. Didn't mean to.
You're very engaging.
She drew me into it. I was drawn into it. What can I say?
Okay, I'll also say that I completed my open meetings training and my public information training as part of the requirement of being a council member. What I have left to do is my cybersecurity training, so working on getting that done. But the Open Meetings Training Act was very informative. And so in saying that, and in light of that training that I went through, Mr. Deaconson, maybe this is a question that Calvin thought might be best posed to you, and that had to do with a manner in which I can communicate with the council members that doesn't put in jeopardy a quorum or those type of discussions. And through that Open Meetings Training Act, one of the things that was recommended was an open messaging board for the city to have, so that we can all openly message each other regarding things, but it's viewed towards the public, so it doesn't appear as if we're having private conversations outside of the public view. And I say that because of the email that Calvin sent regarding AI data centers. I think that Mayor Wilson had sent to him. There's I think it's almost a 2-hour presentation from CSIS about data centers, which I did watch. And I had some thoughts on that I wanted to share with the rest of the council, but I don't want to do it here in this meeting. I've already taken up too much of this meeting, but I do want to have these conversations openly. And so I don't know if we could potentially put that on an agenda to talk about having that. And Shauna asked for a way for the citizens to submit comments, and she and I did not talk about any of this, just so you guys know. I didn't know that, but maybe that's a good thing that we could talk about it all collectively, if you guys are willing to do that. And that's all I had for my council input.
I would like to recognize Jim, our Public Works Director. I had 2 city employees contact me regarding city issues on the streets. I communicated with him, and the problems were solved or issued at least temporarily. And I just want to thank him because he was very fast to get the problem solved. Thanks.
Anyone else? Council members' input, mayor's report, kind of further to you, I mentioned it in conversations with Greg, Amy, is that I'm gonna try to, you can see the kind of the statutory guidelines we have for a meeting doesn't allow for a lot of dialogue. And so we're gonna try to expand the use of work sessions in the city meetings so we can actually, like we're gonna do with the budget, we're gonna sit at the tables here, the public is welcome to sit out and onlook, but the council members can go back and forth and back and forth. We can have experts and have a conversation in a way that doesn't really, the meetings currently don't allow it. And so we're gonna be doing that with some water experts, some energy experts, and our city engineer come in to talk to us about some issues on budgets and what have you, and cost of things. I think you got that presentation, and I would very much like to have that given to the council, and then in a work session we can discuss it. So we're trying to look for ways to expand the envelope for information flowing within the context or the constraints of the structure that we have to work with. And with that, we are going to have a modest change in our agenda. We're going to go directly to executive session before we have our budget workshop so that we cannot have to pay our city attorney to sit through a budget workshop in which he has no role.
Oh, come on, Dave, you wanna do that, don't you?
We're doing everything we can to kill this Christmas, all right?
authorize the city manager to engage the commercial real estate firm of Cromwell Group to assist the city in the investigation of potential real estate located within the city and for city purposes.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Laurie, please poll the council.
And I'm gonna need that because I'm pretty sure that it's not gonna be clear enough on the video. So if you'll give me that so that I can put it in. Okay. Mr. Olvera?
Yes.
Ms. Jamison?
Yes.
Mr. Daniel?
Yes.
Mr. Hurst?
Yes.
Mr. Wilson?
Yes?
And Ms. Gage?
Yes.
All right. With that, that concludes our, work,
Recess regular. and
executive
convene
session,
budget.
recess, and now we have to recess back into budget workshop
There you go.
at 8:34.
Dave,
Thank you, sir.
good seeing you, brother.
Mayor, could we take a short recess?
Okay, if you need to.
You can take as long of a recess as you want to.
That's about the budget, we ought to have one for everybody in the staff.
Yeah.
This is gonna be.
Musical mic thing is not.
So we could walk around and talk, huh?
There you go. I got one. Okay. So I guess, everybody, I'm assuming had a chance to take a look at the budget and everything? Amy, you can ask questions, all right.
Slugs.
And really, I guess now, nothing has really changed, has it, Amber?
No.
Yeah. Yep. We had prepared, I'll tell you, we had prepared another, I guess, a budget, in anticipation of y'all passing the 8 and 16 for TMRS, and that was really the only change that we would have had in the new budget.
We can come back on that at another meeting if we need to.
Okay.
And it already gave you that amount, so you already know what that
Yeah,
amount is.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Let me hear it one more time. 71,000
71,196,
a year.
correct,
Extra.
extra.
Yeah. And we struggle with our police officers, you know, we've had some high attrition there. Is there on the, and we went through this with, the chief before last, ran a pretty tight ship, and the officers had a really good reputation. Now, we're back in that same, we're well-led, the officers are well-trained, they're coming from a good culture.
Yeah.
And so we can expect the county and Waco, who are paying $8 to $10 grand a year per officer more. So, I mean, I get the point about incremental spend on the, you know, on the expenses, but we gotta worry about we've always had a workforce retention, particularly on the police department.
Yeah.
And I know we've got some people here that have turned down, at this table, have turned down, you know, a little incremental pay because they just didn't like the culture where they were going or like the culture here. And so, you know, down the road, if all the good things happen, well, that won't be a problem. Everybody will be wanting to come this way.
Well,
But we need to take care of the people we got now. you know.
And to clarify, I ended up voting yes on this because what my proposal was is if we could just do a 0.5% instead of a full percentage, and that is mainly just keeping in line statewide what the averages are, and that was the only reason that I questioned it and brought it up to, you know.
It's a fair question, you know, to look at that, and the only thing I would add to that is we'll look at the total compensation package.
Yep,
And,
yep.
and so, you know, money's money, but the retirement and the health and the benefits, sometimes that's
It's a
pretty
big part,
powerful
it
thing.
is,
Yeah,
I understand
it's a
that, it's
big
why I
plus.
ended up voting yes, it's why I ended up, you know, at the end of the day, if we weren't gonna do 0.5%, it's why I ended up voting yes on it, is, you know.
And I voted
I
no.
might be a little bit biased.
I don't even know
as
if
far as
0.5%
that goes,
is a-
'cause I
Because
am.
you work a city, you work.
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
city.
and Amber just made a good point. I'm not sure
Did-
that a
how much
half
did
a
they make?
percent is even an option.
Yeah.
I
Lord
think
said
it's,
Was it 15%?
it's not, okay.
I don't think
It's
so.
like either
I didn't
seven
think it
and,
was.
7 with a
Did
2-to-1
you hear
match,
that?
8
Did y'all hear that down here?
No, what, sorry.
A 0.5% apparently is not
is
an
not an
option.
option.
for teams.
Okay,
Yeah.
So it has to be,
Whole percent.
yeah, so I guess we need to word
To word it.
to word it to where it's 8% with
And
a
16,
2.
employees will I mean, because it is confusing, this, we're gonna increase it by a point.
Right.
And it leaves open to interpretation what the net effect is
Yeah.
gonna be. So I think it's worded fine, it's worded correct, but the questions raised by it were eminently reasonable. And if we have them on this council, the public out there is gonna have them too.
Sure.
So do you want that on the next agenda?
I would think that's, and I don't get the sense that anybody here wants to do nothing.
Okay.
no, yeah,
It's just
because it didn't pass,
It's a matter of
Right.
what to do, not
Yes.
to do nothing.
agree,
Okay.
agree.
We voted it down because it wasn't right, so.
Yeah.
That's the only reason.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. Okay, and like I say, keep in mind, we are not doing a COLA increase this year. And we did leave the merit increase in there because of the insurance,
Yeah.
which actually is about a 3% increase.
Mm-hmm.
It's-
I don't agree with the across-the-board increase.
You are
I never gave across-the-board increase,
Cost of living,
merit.
Yeah, but this is retirement though, right? Like you're not
Well,
being,
Merit's not across the
yeah, a
board.
COLA is across the board.
COLA is
You're right.
across the
Yeah.
board,
Right.
merit is not.
Mhm.
right.
I mean, You do your
Okay.
documentation and you justify their raise, you don't just give everybody an.
Yeah, but
Straight
they
raise.
kinda started doing that after COVID, didn't they? Doing the COLA increase, or
It's
has it been
been
around?
way
It's been
longer.
around for
Yeah,
a
They've always
while.
done
yeah.
COLA.
But I think more
Yeah.
cities and more people started doing it after COLA. I mean, I know you say it's been around for a while, but I don't know. Yeah.
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 35 years or 36 years I've been doing municipal. But because not every city I've worked at has done it though, so that's why I was just wondering.
Okay, Ronnie, to answer your question, it's 71,196.
Okay.
I think I told you 4, didn't I?
71, 2?
71,196. Yeah, she rounded up to 70, roughly
That's
72
what he told me.
approximately.
I like
It's in
rounding
that range.
numbers also. It's
Yeah.
much easier.
Yeah, I actually went, like I said, we had prepared another budget, and the only thing that changed was just the retirement amount. And so I actually went in and calculated the difference, and then I asked where I got the number, my number.
And just so everybody knows, kind of where I, touched the staff on this, my main question was, are we gonna get a fire engine this year? And Calvin said no, and he has a plan. And that's the bond, we have some bonds, and I think we've been through this before with the council. Would you explain about the bonds that are gonna be maturing? And
Yes.
how we can renew them?
Okay, so when we, hopefully y'all remember, whenever we passed the street bond, or we talked about the street bond, well, one of the things we talked about, we have some other bonds that are paying off in 2027, 28 too? Yeah, 2027, 2028, 2031,
I think it's 31 or 32.
yeah,
I can't remember for sure.
yeah. So we have some bonds that's gonna be paying off.
But they're smaller amounts?
Yeah, they're smaller
One to-
amounts, a
1 to
million,
3?
something like that.
I don't remember the exact amount. It's been a while.
It's like 1,000,003 and 2
Something like that, yeah.
2.8 or something, but I
Yeah.
mean, those cumulative, it's a lot of street repair, and that's the way it came up, we were working on this maybe even before the bond.
Mhm.
Well, okay, we got this is maturing, we can just renew it.
Correct.
And it's already in our budget, the payments are already in the budget, we just renew the indebtedness.
For a different
Yeah.
expense.
And it's allowed by state law to just renew a bond once it's been issued, so theoretically, when we pay off the 9.5, we could renew it.
Does it
Right.
have to be voted on and approved though?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And
Yes,
does it have to be for the same purpose? Like, so this is a street bond, the $9.5
well,
million
I
is a
don't
street
think
bond,
so.
you can't
We
renew it to
wouldn't
get
offer
a,
street bond.
That one.
Yeah,
okay.
We would not do another street bond. Okay, but remember, we done a $9.5 million bond for the roads,
Right,
okay? Our bid come in, as y'all saw, 6.5 million.
right.
Might as well call it 6.6 by the time.
Let's
we
plan
were
for
shocked.
contingencies. Let's plan for some
Yeah,
contingencies.
100,000 is already in that for contingency.
Okay, okay.
So we're looking at, $6.5 million. Roughly $1 million for the engineering. So we're looking $7.5 to $8 million for this project, okay? So we should come in a little bit lower.
Under.
All right, and keep in mind, we bought some equipment, we also got some, interest, thank you, got some interest. So, I think we need to get these 3 streets done, let's see where, let the dust settle, clear, pay everything, let's see where we're at.
Mm-hmm.
And then hopefully, we can take that remainder of that money, and I think we need maybe 1 or 2 more pieces of equipment for our guys to help on the streets. Maybe another skid steer, what I understand, maybe a little bit bigger one. But we'll still utilize the other one, okay? And then we'll take the remainder of that and we can use that for chip sealing, using our guys.
And then, I mean, surely we have more than 3 streets that need that level of infrastructure repair, right? After going to meeting, I mean,
All
yeah.
of them, yeah.
So you use that for, and I agree those things make sense in terms of planning, but then we have to get another bond to get the other streets addressed?
Well, what we would do is, as these bonds mature, is, let's say that one for 2027 is paid off.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we could probably look at taking that, and since we have some leftover money in the streets and we're working on streets, we need a fire engine really bad.
Okay.
Let's take that bond and buy a fire engine.
And that's like $1 million.
Yeah, it's about $1 million.
Big number.
Okay.
And the fire engine, the main one is like 35 years old?
I think they're
30 years old and 35 years old.
Yeah, I saw them.
And
They
one
look
of them-
good.
They do?
And they're
Got
in great
a lot of
shape,
parts
but one
can
of
be
them,
replaced.
like the critical pump, there are no parts. When it breaks, it's junk.
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, unless you wanna take it to a machine shop and have them make
Yeah.
one from scratch.
No, Adrian, didn't you tell me it's usually like 20 years that they're replaced, like they kind of get obsolete after 20 years and they should be replaced? 10. 10. Yeah. We're way past, way past. Okay.
Small cities, if you look around, we're not that far out of pocket for a small city. The bigger cities, tend to be able to do that.
Well, NFPA says 10 years. A volunteer department that is not attached to a city does not abide by those rules. So, when Waco, after 10 years, gets rid of their equipment, Ross, Elmont, Galinda, Golson,
You
they
get it.
suck them up. They love it. They love a 10-year-old only engine.
I
It
bet.
replaces something that's 30 years old.
Yeah.
And so getting a new one would be a little bit of a luxury, but we need it. We need it.
Yeah,
And
we
then
do.
frankly, 10 years down the road, we need another one.
Yeah.
But that's one of the uses, and of course, then we've also got more road and street work.
Mhm.
What we didn't count on was having what'll probably end up being $1 million and a half left over from the $9.5 million bond. We were more worried about going the other way.
Over, right.
And so we can just turn the guys loose on resurfacing
smile.
streets.
Hardly
It'll,
any left over.
in terms of making
what I
a
thought.
show, a meaningful improvement in some of the worst streets for our citizens, we're gonna be able to really exceed expectations, it
Yeah.
looks like.
So how does, this is gonna be a really dumb question, and I know I said I wouldn't ask any, but I need to learn this part. And how does that translate to what the citizens are paying on their water bill to pay back the bond, right? Is there a correlation between these? Because I've got residents saying, you're taking $13 out of I'm
No,
paying
that-
13
okay,
extra
now
dollars.
That is a infrastructure fee.
Okay,
Yeah.
and it's not connected to the $9.5 million bond?
No.
Okay,
No, that's strictly ad valorem tax.
Everybody's doing,
Right.
all cities are doing it.
$9.5 million bond,
Fees,
yeah.
yeah.
They're doing a new one too.
Impact fees, oh my God, they fee everybody.
Oh, yeah, it's-
okay.
And of course, if you have construction, you can do impact fees. But if you don't have anything, you don't get, so we're hamstrung a little bit.
Well, so how is that money, managed? Where is that in the budget, the infrastructure fee, the money that we get for that? And how do we demonstrate how that money's being spent?
Let's see, that infrastructure fee.
It's about a $300,000 number, I think.
Yeah.
That helped us when we had, what was
on
it,
the last
the failed?
23.
Avenue H failed.
The street bond, no, that's street bond proceeds. Oh, infrastructure, street, water, and sewer infrastructure.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, and we're projected 312,000 this year.
But where does it say how we're spending it? 'Cause
Okay.
this is what people ask. People
Street,
wanna know
street,
where's
water,
the.
and sewer.
It's just
It's broke out
revenue.
into
This is
three.
a common government thing. Like, when you go to National Park and you pay your fee,
Yeah,
the fee goes to the treasury and then Congress budgets the money back. You can't really easily tie that together. We're collecting $300,000 for this purpose and $300,000 on this fee and $100,000 for this fee, and then it all goes into the pot, and then we do street work. So
Mhm.
the only way to really compare it is to say, well, we were able to
This is the
increase
street
our
work that
street
we've
spend
done.
by $300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also,
and I think that would just be helpful with residents.
But what I think is important is this is really we're not here to make money. We have to save money to be able to fix big repairs, but, everything that the city gets in goes back out into the city in some form or fashion, other than paying us too much.
That's a better way.
Every time.
But to your point in our meeting earlier, though, the perception is, and this is not data center related or data center people related, the perception from the citizens and the residents is, what are you doing with my money? And so how do we clearly and effectively communicate that to them so they understand where it's going and they know that you're not putting it in
So
their pocket?
attending
comment
the
real quick on
meetings
that one.
would help, A.
Which is why I
and-
asked all the questions
And
today.
B, if we don't have somebody like the big spokesperson saying that, hey, citizens, the city is pocketing your money, literally putting that data out there, that doesn't help us. That doesn't help us at all. For literally just saying, hey, look at what happened. This bond was taken out X amount of years ago. Your streets aren't fixed. We know that. It's a long process. As all of us have been in government at all, government moves like molasses. And that's kind of one of the tough things. It can't happen today and happen. You're now getting a taste of budget. We're not even close to done yet.
Okay,
We're
I'm
not
gonna
even
shut
close
up
to
now
done.
then.
No. And these are just the first couple of meetings, right, Amber?
Yeah. Hey, let me make a point real quick, okay?
Yes, sir.
Sometimes ask that citizen how much in ad valorem tax do they pay? And let's say they pay $1,200 a year to the city. It costs the city a little over $400 a day to put one patrol officer on the street. So that citizen just paid for that patrol officer for 3 days, and their ad valorem tax is gone.
Ad valorem, is that what
Ad
you're saying?
valorem.
That's property
Their
tax.
property tax. Yeah, their
Okay.
property tax. And so, if you look at our ad valorem revenue, it don't even cover the police department.
Yeah. Yeah, your
And so
property
we're
taxes
making up the rest of the budget from water and sewer and sales tax and other income.
And we were
franchise
looking-
fees.
We were looking, when we did that, we were like, we've gotta do something on streets. And we had some opportunity, the county rents some
Yeah,
road work
yeah,
equipment, and
yeah.
we had an opportunity. We got, we
Nine.
got a Old Central over
Yeah.
there, which really didn't need the work, but.
Oh, it
you know, maybe
did.
you heard the deal.
Oh.
But I mean, you know, going to a street that maybe is not shot yet and resurfacing it extends that life out, right?
Ron, you
And
wanna
we
make a
got
comment
that
on
done for almost free,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And so, but we were able to pay for that with that's how we budgeted it. We were able to find a way.
Yeah,
with
we
that
actually ARPA grant, I'll use
$300,000,
ARPA funds for
all
that
went
one.
into streets and sewer
We use
lines
ARPA
and
funds for
directly
that.
into infrastructure.
ARPA fund, we use the ARPA grant to pay the
Yeah, 'cause
county for that.
even with Avenue H, we told everybody what it was.
Sir?
We said in the meeting, Avenue H.
Originally, that's a, oh.
So a good example is,
We had talked
the
about
lift
West
station
Craven at one
that was
time
falling down,
with the
falling
bond,
through.
Uh-huh.
but
Yeah, that's being paid with that.
And the
Avenue H, what happened at Avenue
the
H?
sewer line, yeah,
Uh-huh.
that collapsed on Avenue
Big
H.
O, and that was
So the
paid for by-
$13 is infrastructure, not street.
Old Central Craven and then one at Little Bitty Street.
I know we done, Spring Valley, Spring Lake.
Yeah.
Spring Lake and Old Central. I'm
Not the streets.
With the county?
Okay.
I don't remember Craven. I don't remember Craven, I'll be honest with you. I know we originally talked about it in the street bond.
It's in worse shape than.
Oh, I know.
Oh, it's awful.
I like for our guys to try.
And if you raise money by fees, it doesn't run up against your property tax increases that would run you into an election. So we didn't do it for that reason. We had to do it to raise some revenue. But,
Oh, my God.
yeah, we looked up and we were actually selling the water to the citizens for less than we were paying for Waco.
We were actually charging less for sewer than we were paying.
And it's because so many councils would hear, you know, the complaints, and look, we're one of the lowest income cities, and we got a low retire, I mean, we're not, in saying what I'm about to say, nobody's trying to dismiss it, but it doesn't matter how much money you gotta have water, you gotta have sewer, you gotta have streets, you gotta have police, you gotta have fire department.
Like your husband painting a house, buys the gallon of paint, it costs $100, and is going to do the job for $50. He's not making
No,
no money.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it.
And so the city, and in trying not to burden the citizens, was not charging enough.
It's called
And
budget
and it
workshop.
ended up degrading the whole city's services for everyone.
Call you David Deacon.
Yep, okay.
Hey, this is called budget workshop.
I agree, I'm fine. Back on
Okay.
track.
Ma'am?
I said, okay, back on track, no more questions.
Okay. All right, anybody else have any questions on the budget, because we really didn't change it? We do have one prepared, like I said, if y'all do decide to make that change from 7 and 8 to.
Chief's got something.
Just real quick, TMRS thing, so there's I already know this because I retired from one of them, but, so there's a TMRS website that talks about cities, but everything that cities have decided is by ordinance. So like this city decided back in the day that it's a 2-to-1 match by an
Yes.
ordinance. So like, I'm not saying it would have been, if you would have passed the one, it would have had to have been a 2-to-1 match, because that's what
So we, that's,
We'll have a little
to
bit
your
of
point,
clarification next time.
what he's saying, the import of what he's saying is that's a self-imposed 2-to-1 rule, not a rule
Understood.
from Austin. So we would, if we were uncomfortable with that, we would have to first change the ordinance. You know, that's, everybody speak to your city manager and let him know, and we can bring it up for a vote, you know?
Oh, yeah, I'm up for voting on that again.
Yeah, and I do think we should come back with another
Okay.
proposal.
We'll do that.
That's worded more clearly.
Yeah, okay.
And then we can see what everyone wants to do.
Okay.
What, Tuesday, okay, Lori?
What's that?
Somebody would have sent it to the attorney while I was on vacation, it would have been done.
I knew that was coming, I knew that was coming.
Calvin, can you repeat the cost of the animal shelter, fees? I've got $1,800 on here.
Yep.
Per animal.
Per animal.
Is it for is it now 21?
Oh, I'd have to, what was the, yeah, just a minute, I got that.
And where did
I'm
you
on
say to
page
look?
10.
When we were in he mentioned to me that I needed to look at the number of pets, but I don't know where I'm supposed to find the
How
number
much
of
per
pets.
pet then?
Yeah, I
Just a
mean,
minute.
I've just written down $1,800 per animal.
that's what I have too.
It's more than that.
It's more than that, I think that's an old number.
And I wanted to say, it
That-
was 2,100 and something, Amy?
No, so he in the last meeting he said 1,800 per animal at the shelter.
Right.
In
Okay.
2025, we spent 14,586.
Right.
We budgeted $69,420 for 2026. And so I'm just trying to figure out why we budgeted that much, what's the differences, and what makes that up. That's a huge variance.
Okay, the cost per animal that we're looking at this year is
The current year or this proposed budget year?
let me see here, fiscal year 26. No, for this year.
The
for this
one we're
proposed
in
year.
right now?
And keep in mind, the numbers are from last year.
Yeah, they
We're paying for
bill.
last year's animals.
Right.
It's $2,142.83 per animal.
Right.
That's a lot.
We gotta figure a
Yeah,
solution to that.
and so then, do you have the number of animals that were picked up in
6.
2025?
6. No, 2026.
No, because
Yeah,
they
20,
they
that's
bill
25,
us based on what happened in 2025 for 2026, right? And so
That'd
in
be 20.
2025 we paid for what was the number
Be
that we
this
had in
one.
24.
But this is our budget this year.
Just divide that into the total
See?
Yeah, just about.
proposed.
The 2142.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they sent us for the 26, 27
But
budget.
didn't she ask for the 2025?
Let's see.
That's what she's reading.
Oh, okay.
There's such a discrepancy between what you budgeted.
Yeah, okay, so in the 25-26 budget, we had taken 38 animals at the cost of $69,419.
An animal?
No, total.
Oh,
Take that 69,419 divided by 38. And that was the cost per animal for the budget year we're in right now.
1,800 or something, right?
So they're billing us in arrears?
Yes.
yes.
Good gosh, that's a lot.
Yes, it is. That was why
They
we,
feed those
Can we
dogs
do-
and all of that and then wait a year to bill?
yeah.
Good grief, somebody needs to go talk to that city and.
We
put them in-
need as a city, are we able to have our animal control officer involved in getting these people to court for this?
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Are we doing citations? That's a great question. Are we issuing citations as people, because what you mentioned is part of the explanation in the last budget meeting for the reduction and what we're expecting going forward is that we're not taking them to Waco anymore because it's too dang expensive.
Right.
So we're returning him, that Chuck knows the people and he's returning him to the people, and that we're making this effort to do that.
Yes.
But are we? I would have paid a fine, okay? Last week I'd have paid a fine, and I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would have done it.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I don't want special preference. I mean, but
Absolutely.
I think that we should be getting that money back and trying to recover some of that when we can.
Yeah.
Don't
I know
you guys?
So,
give 'em
I got a question real quick. So, we're really not
Right.
talking about budget,
Right.
we're talking about solutions.
That's what I'm proposing.
Right.
To change the
Boss,
budget. We're not, really not talking about the budget, we're talking about solutions to change the budget. I think what we need to do is talk about the budget.
Okay.
If there's something that we want to change.
Address.
Later on in an executive session or planning committee or whatever, let's make that outline now as we go along and do that, but it's 9 o'clock, let's not talk
Okay.
about,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay,
stuff.
gotcha.
I'm sorry,
It's all
I
right.
apologize.
It's
The
no
one
problem.
who became Dave fell to the sea.
Yeah.
Oh, it's past my bedtime.
Why you're rambling.
Okay, well, with that said, does anybody else have any questions on the numbers of the budget or anything else?
I do, but I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay,
Thank you.
anybody else?
I'm good.
Okay, you wanna wrap up the budget workshop?
You get to go
All
home
right,
now.
any other comments or
Hey,
questions?
One last comment. Okay. Hey,
You're just destroying this city.
I know it, yes. Yeah, I know. I can tell you, the reason she has rats and snakes is not because of the property behind her.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say. But anyway, cause I did go look.
Sure, I'll give it
I
to you.
did
You
go
gotta
out
give her
there,
a
believe
too,
me,
so.
and I even met somebody out there who can verify it. But anyway,
He even took me out there.
yeah. If any of y'all have a question on the budget or anything, please feel free to call me. I mean, you know, we can, if I don't have the answer, and I probably won't, I'll run to Amber right quick and get it. So, please
All right,
feel free to
Amber.
call, okay? Okay, that's all I got. Ready?
I'm good.
All right, at 9:10, meeting is adjourned.
Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
Bringing us back to earth, Ronnie.